We saw David Haye against Tony Bellew. We heard the noise, we've seen it all before. I don't think we need to see it again. Welcome to One-to-One with Simon Jordan. Next week's subject is anything but football. Now don't forget to leave your questions in the comment section and your videos, which is my preference, at one-to-one@talksport.co.uk.
Simon, seeing as you've been squawking about how football needs a financial overhaul, do you feel like something similar needs to happen in boxing? Not so much financial, but the length of time it takes us and the hoops we have to jump through to see fights like Fury-Joshua. And if you do agree, what are your thoughts on how that looks? Cheers.
Squawking, opining. Yeah, I do. I think there's a lack of integrity in a sport that I hold in the highest regard for its integrity. When you're talking about people that are mandatory challengers not being able to fight for years on end, specifically Dillian Whyte, I think it lacks the integrity. I think when you're seeing fights like Fury-Joshua not being able to be made because of ridiculous contractual squabbles, I think you're in a situation where you start to lose some of the value of the sport. There's too many belts. There's too many permutations of those belts in terms of interim and international and WBA, WEC, IBF, IBO, WBO. So of course it does, but it doesn't alter the fact that boxing still to me is the greatest sport because it operates at the highest level of value and principles. But yeah, I'd like to see more controls put into place. I'd like to see belts streamlined. I'd like to see one belt for each division rather than 5, but we'll see.
Hey, what's up, Simon? Brook and Amir Khan are set to be fighting next. Do you think this fight is happening too late? P.S. Only watch talkSPORT when you're on, mate.
You can always run the argument that something's too late. You could run the argument that Manny Pacquiao versus Floyd Mayweather was too late. You might be able to run the argument sooner rather than later if we don't get on with it, that Tyson Fury and actually Joshua may be too late. But can you run an argument that it never happens at all? So is it better late than never? Look, Brook and Amir Khan, neither were in their pomp. Both have had reasons not to have these fights, and I've always felt that Brook had more reason to have this fight than Amir Khan because Amir Khan has the juice, he has the stardust. So no, I don't think it's too late. I don't think it's something that you get at the very top of their game, but very, very rarely do we ever see fighters fight when they're at the very top of their game. So I'd watch it, and I think most people would watch Khan, Brook, but we'll see.
Hi Simon, quick question. Who would you like to see Conor Benn fight next?
Based upon his last performance with Adrian Granados, I'd like to see Conor fight a kind of live one. And what I mean by a live one is someone that's been at the very top, not operated around the top. Granados was a challenger, not a champion. I'd like to see him fight probably Adrian Broner, because I think Broner has been at the very top. Yeah, okay, he's done himself in to some extent by not being the greatest trainer and the most disciplined, but he still has a reason to take this fight. It might be economical. It might be the economics of the fight that make Broner want to take it, but I think he's a real fighter in terms of he will be not the piece de resistance, but he'll be the stepping stone from Conor Benn beating names that are good for his resume to beating people that have really been at the top table. Now, you could put him in with Brook, you could put him with Amir Khan. Neither one of those fighters are going to want to fight Conor Benn because it's a domestic thing. It leaves them with a legacy that a young buck beats them and it damages their reputation, whereas Adrian Broner probably needs the fight. We'll see it as a stepping stone for another directional change for him, and the finances might be an incentive for him. So Broner would be the fight I'd like to see Conor Benn have.
Hi Simon, love the show. I just wanted to get your thoughts on the David Haye performance and him also calling out Tyson Fury afterwards. What chances does he have getting that fight?
I've got to be honest, if I could find anything less interesting than David Haye, it would be a challenge for me. It's a nothing fight, it's a nothing event, it's about money, and there's nothing wrong with sport being about money because it's a big driver in everyone's lives. But we saw David Haye against Tony Bellew. We heard the noise, we've seen it all before. I don't think we need to see it again. If people want to pay David to put on exhibition fights, that's up to them. But I'm not interested in David Haye. I think once upon a time David Haye was a story. Now at the very best he's a backstory.
Hi Simon, I just wanted to know, what do you make of Evander Holyfield's return against Victor Belfort at the weekend? He lost and he's still calling out Mike Tyson. What do you think?
I think it's a bit sad. I think he was a great fighter, a great cruiserweight champion, a great heavyweight champion. You look back on those fights with Riddick Bowe and all the fights that he had, and obviously the legendary fights with Mike Tyson. it's a money thing again, and if we want to give these guys money, we want to pay for their pensions, then who am I to say there's something wrong with that? But what for? We're not seeing Evander Holyfield, the ultimate warrior. We're not seeing Mike Tyson, the baddest man on the planet. We're seeing caricatures that will be choreographed, that will almost walk around the ring holding one another up like Mike Tyson did with Roy Jones. So I do think it's unnecessary. I can't imagine that the economics of it are there, or Evander Holyfield needs the money. Maybe they need the buzz, but I think that the boxing division is alive right now, or the boxing world is alive right now, and going back to these carnival of horrors for people that were once upon a time leading lights doesn't appeal to me. Don't forget to remember next week it's anything but football, and I shall look forward to your questions in the comment sections and your emails at one-to-one@talksport.co.uk.